Coming up on Mountain News this morning, candidates are on the campaign trail pushing people to head out and vote on Tuesday. And the state Supreme Court ruled in favor of a Lexington t-shirt printing company that refused to print t-shirts for the city's Pride Festival. Plus, we lay out the plans for Vice President Mike Pence's visit to Southern Kentucky with Governor Matt Bevin later today.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:32 on November 1st. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Well, if you're just now waking up and grabbing your coffee, it's chilly outside. I had to bring all my coats out, but let's go to Brandon Robinson. You were saying something like 25 to 30 degrees difference from yesterday to this morning.
Oh, yeah. It was in the 60s yesterday morning. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
I know. It is crazy, but that's what a strong cold front will do for you. Let's go to the cameras this morning. We take a look at US 119 up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. You can see things drying out this morning. A few snowflakes flying around the overnight hours there. Temperatures in the 30s. I think it's where we're going to stay this morning for the most part. 30 in Wise, 35 Huntington, low to mid 30s there across the region. And look, here's the numbers: 29 degrees colder to 34 degrees colder this morning. Actually 35 out toward Monticello. So that's a big change from this time yesterday morning. We're looking at the day planner. Sunshine will be around, but still going to be chilly, close to 48 for a daytime high. Some spots could get a little closer to 50. Freeze warning early this morning. A chilly day ahead, but a sunny weekend. I'll talk more about all that coming up here in just a little bit. Madison?
Thank you, Brandon. Well, it's just days until Election Day, and candidates are on the campaign trail, pushing people to head out and vote on Tuesday. Kentucky's Secretary of State predicts a 31% voter turnout. That's about 1 million Kentuckians voting. It's slightly up from last governor's election in 2015, when there was a 30% voter turnout. Both Governor Matt Bevin and Attorney General Andy Beshear are making their final pitches to voters.
This is about values. It's about voting your values and not your party. And what is in the best interest of yourself? What would you fight for?
I see people hungry for a governor that works for all Kentuckians and not just his rich buddies.
In Lexington, the Fayette County Clerk says several factors play into voter turnout, like young, first-time voters and educators. The weather could also play a role. Typically, if it rains, we see a lower turnout. And it's a big day in Southern Kentucky. Governor Bevin and Vice President Mike Pence will make several stops along the I-75 corridor today. One place they will visit is Corbin. And WYMT's Will Puckett caught up with the owner of the restaurant they will be stopping at, who calls it an honor.
This is about more than just Shep's Place.
It's a big deal for the city of Corbin. I mean, I don't know the last time the Vice President comes to the city of Corbin. Don't quote me on that, but it's a big deal for all of us.
But Mark Shepard, the owner of Shep's Place, would be lying if he said he was not humbled they picked his place.
It's an awesome experience, especially for a business owner like me.
Shepard is a Desert Storm veteran and knows that when the Vice President asks to come, you do not say no.
It's an honor that they would pick Shep's to come here and have lunch, and it's a high honor.
This is an experience of a lifetime for Shepard and all of his employees.
You know, only you get to see in the movies, but it's been great.
Working with the governor's office as well as the Secret Service, this has been a weeks-long process.
About a week ago, we was told that, maybe the Vice President shows up, and that was very exciting.
Now, as we sit less than 24 hours from the occasion, Shepard knows he has a long night ahead.
It's supposed to be fun. I mean, at the end of the day, we all need to have fun with this and be honored that they chose this city of Corbin to come to.
But come noontime Friday, it will all be worth it. In Corbin, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Shepard says he is double-checking to make sure their food doesn't disappoint, but he says that's a small worry because it's always good. You can watch the Vice President land at the Corbin London Airport later today at around noon on our website and Facebook page. And meanwhile, you can expect delays throughout the day on roads all along the I-75 corridor. Some roads will likely be blocked off for brief amounts of time as the Vice President's motorcade travel to each location. We are told that lanes on the interstate could be closed in one direction as the Vice President moves from spot to spot, but that could last no longer than 5 to 10 minutes. Also expect a high number of local and federal police scattered up and down I-75. And we will have coverage of Vice President Mike Pence's visit to Southern Kentucky throughout the day. You can see the VP's plane land at the London Corbin Airport, like we said, around noon on WYMT.com and our Facebook page. We will have reporters with him during his stops in Corbin and Williamsburg, and we will carry the Vice President's remarks later at the Laurel London Optimist Club live on WYMT, and that should happen around sometime after 3:15. And of course, we'll also have coverage during all of our newscasts this evening. This also comes just days before President Trump holds a rally at Rupp Arena in Lexington. That will be Monday night at 7. And yesterday, the state Supreme Court ruled in favor of a Hands On Originals, a Lexington t-shirt printing company that refused to print t-shirts for the city's Pride Festival. In the ruling, justices found that no individual claimed Hands On had discriminated against them. In 2012, the owner of Hands On Originals, Blaine Adamson, refused to print the shirt due to his religious belief. And in Clay County, a woman is accused of calling 911 with a false report that she was shot. Deputies arrested Donna Keene. They say dispatchers received a call Wednesday night from Keene saying she'd been shot in the head. Deputies did not find those injuries. She's charged with false reporting. And yesterday we learned a trial date is set for two people accused of beating a woman to death with a stick in Whitley County. Chris Lowe and Lori Maddie are both charged with murder and unlawfully imprisonment in the death of Michelle Marlowe. Police say on July of 2017, they found Marlowe's body after a trail of blood led them to it. They said it had been dragged inside a home, and Lowe and Maddie's trial date is set to begin November 19th. And Kentucky State Police are looking for a man who attacked and shot at a local car dealership owner in Knott County. WYMT's Laura McCourt talked with a man who says he is grateful to be alive.
A nightmare taking place in broad daylight.
I was washing the car off with a spray washer and didn't know he was even approaching.
As James Combs was in the middle of the workday, the unthinkable happened.
All once he hit me in the face with a pistol.
The blow sent Combs to the ground, but he fought back.
But I couldn't tell anything about him, and I asked him, I said, "Who are you?"
Combs was able to push the man away, but couldn't identify the attacker because he was wearing a ski mask.
Anyway, he jerks loose and fires the gun. I don't know if he was firing at me or what happened. I know the gun went off.
Following the attack, the man jumped back into his car and sped off.
Oh, he's still out there, and whoever did it, evidently I know him, or they wouldn't have been covering their face up.
Now, Combs is fearing for his life because he knows the attacker is still out there.
You know, you're always cautious now. You're watching every car moves, and everybody coming on the lot you're watching.
Leaving the fight with only a few injuries.
My arm is cut real bad in my head and my eye.
Combs is grateful to still be alive. In Knott County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
If you have any information on this attempted robbery, call Kentucky State Police. And the Laurel County Sheriff's Department is looking into a double stabbing. It happened off of S&A Lane in London Wednesday night. They said two men were fighting when they stabbed each other, causing serious injuries. Both were taken to St. Joseph Hospital, London, with multiple stab wounds, and their identities have not been released yet. Deputies expect to make arrests. And meanwhile, a Laurel County man is behind bars charged with first-degree robbery. State police arrested 19-year-old Christian Schrader Wednesday. And earlier this month, troopers say he robbed someone at gunpoint and took $400. His warrant does not specify the name of the victim, and Schrader's bond is set at $50,000 cash. And agents with the Federal Bureau of Investigations arrested a Pike County man yesterday. This is Jimmy Lee Moore. A federal grand jury indicted him on drug charges. From September 2016 through May 2017, he's accused of distributing pills including oxycodone and hydrocodone. If convicted, Lee faces up to 30 years in prison and a hefty fine. And meanwhile, a man is accused of driving recklessly and putting others in danger in Laurel County. Deputies say they got a complaint of a driver running vehicles off the road and nearly hitting a retaining wall. Deputies found the vehicle on the interstate and conducted a traffic stop. They say 62-year-old Robert Allen was under the influence. He's charged with DUI and other traffic violations.
Cold forecast this morning, but not as cold as it could have been, as we see some clouds still across the area on the satellite radar loop for the last little bit. But you see those clouds starting to clear. Pulaski County, Lake Cumberland will start to clear here in the next couple of hours. Buffalo Mountain, still a few clouds here in Perry County, so we're going to continue to watch that. Temperatures in the 30s, still hanging right around 32. Not moved a whole lot this morning, anywhere between 32 and 34. A couple of cooler spots wise there at 30. And again, you see the warm spot there, Huntington at 35. Some wind chills making it feel a bit colder, especially out toward Lake Cumberland this morning. Your out the door forecast, we are going to feature temperatures that climb into the mid to upper 40s today, maybe close to 50 in spots, but sunshine. It'll be deceiving sunshine because of the lack of warmth. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. Just ahead, it has been 3 months since a pipeline explosion rocked a Lincoln County community. And though time has passed, some folks are not returning to the area. And the Perry County Sheriff's Department was called to a 2-vehicle crash yesterday afternoon.